Alright, here we are in the finals with our sweet mono red deck. We're going to keep this hand. This hand looks pretty awesome. We're on the draw, but not so bad to be on the draw. There is some question as to whether I should use this lightning bolt here, just to the face. Alright, well, we're definitely using lightning bolt to kill Looter Core. Card is awesome. And we'll follow up with a Krenko's command. Alright, drawing Goblin Bushwhacker there was pretty insane. Because we get to go command into Outburst into potentially like Bushwhacker. Or we could even play like Reckoner first if we decide to do that. Alright, Seagate Oracle's kind of annoying. Can't really attack into that. Opponent's on mono blue. I've been really surprised how good mono blue is in the cube. There's just some really great cards at your disposal if you're playing just blue. That could be something that we'd consider, if we decide to do another stipulation draft, maybe decide to go mono blue here. It's a little harder to go mono blue if it's not open because blue is just so good in the cube anyway. All right, so I think what I'm going to do here is just go for Searing Spear on Seagate Oracle, see what my opponent does. If they have a counter, all right, they don't have a counter. So if they don't have a counter, I'm going to just go ahead and go for the Goblin Bushwhacker play here. They have a Cryptic. That's pretty brutal. All right, Venser. Venser is actually not the worst thing to see here, because I'm still going to get in for 4. It does reveal to my opponent that I have Goblin Bushwhacker, so they know to play around it. But we have a pretty sizable board presence at the moment, so I don't think that that's the biggest issue. It also means my opponent doesn't have the luxury of like tapping out, really. Yeah, Legacy is a lure. It's fine. I'm just going to go for the FTK here. Right? It's powerless. Yeah. Let's go for FTK. Well, maybe instead we just go for Incinerate on Venser. And go for the Bushwhacker again. So if they have a counterspell, they get us here. All right, they don't have a counterspell. That's great news for us. All right, opponent's at 6. Let's do it. They can steal a token here with Legacy's Allure, but I don't think that's really what they want. Okay, let's play Hellrider. Gives us the win this turn. They didn't have a 2-mana counter last turn. All right, Daze is annoying, for sure. Can't pay 1 for Daze. Our opponent's sort of obliged to, steal something here. We get to attack our opponent down to 3. And then, like, a Lightning Bolt off the top just wins it for us. And we have Boros Reckoner FTK in hand. Yeah, I think we're doing okay. Our opponent has lots of cards, but I don't know. Feel fine. All right, so let's just go ahead and attack for lethal. Our opponent has to do something now. And then if they kill our guys, we can Brimstone Volley them, but don't really need to do anything. Boom. Unless they have Force of Will. Nice. Mono red, getting the job done. All right, opponent's on some sort of control deck. Means we're pretty susceptible to getting Wrathed here. Outpost Siege looks good. Banefire is an option that I kind of like. Chainwalker, I think, is out, definitely on the draw. Rest of the cards seem okay. Arc Trail looked fine. Seal of Fire, I think, is maybe worse than Forked Bolt here. We saw some tokens from our opponent. Everything else seems okay. TK. Spear. Opponent could have main deck life, or could side into some life gain, so maybe Skullcrack is worth considering. I think what I want to do is cut. I think I want to cut a 4-drop, but they're all just so good. Maybe it's just Banefire. Maybe Banefire is just too big. Banefire with Koth, though, is kind of sweet, so I'm going to keep it. It's just Boros Reckoner. Yeah, let's just cut Boros Reckoner. Our opponents got mostly, blue and white removal, so Boros Reckoner is not going to be at its best here. All right, this hand already looks awesome. So we're keeping it. Probably just going to Firebolt my opponent on turn 1. Don't see much reason not to. Well, drawing that 3rd land, I think I still am going to Firebolt on 1. Well, let's just pass. We did see Looter out of our opponent last game, so if they play another Looter, we do want to be able to kill it. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bolt my opponent, though. And let's go ahead and Firebolt now. We're going to have so much to do in the next couple turns that I think it's okay to just rack up the damage while we can. Cycling Miscalc, okay. So I think this turn... All right, Looter. Looter's fine at this point. We're just going to jam Phoenix here. Brimstone Volley in Chandra's Phoenix is kind of awesome. Also, Firecraft in Phoenix is really good against our opponent, so I feel pretty good about where we are. Yeah. In a few turns, we have the option of flashing back. All right, that's kind of annoying. It's like a semi-permanent answer. Or I guess it is just actually permanent answer. All right, Koth was a great draw. Let's slam Koth. Please no days. Nice. Let's get him for 4. And at this point, unless our opponent gains some life here, I mean, we just have lethal in hand right now between Firecraft and Volley. Our opponent needs to kill Koth, and they just blew an Oblivion Ring, so I feel pretty good about where we are. This is just the thing, is like a lot of the decks that are good in the cube are trying to go long. All right, opposition is not the scariest right now. Especially, well, let's see. So they're going to tap down the mountain that we activate. I think that's okay. I think what I'm going to do is just float a red here. Activate Koth on this mountain. I'm going to play out Dragon Fodder. And actually, I could just, yeah, I think what I want to do here is just go for Bushwhacker. Because now my opponent can just tap down one of my guys and I get to swing for 4. So my opponent is heavily incentivized to kill Koth next turn, or else the emblem just does it. I find it unlikely that our opponent's going to be able to... I mean, even if they secure the waste for 4 here, they can't tap down everything. Yeah, they're obliged to attack Koth. That's a good sign for us. Let's just go ahead and I guess we can float a mana, activate Koth. All right, we're not going to use that mana. Let's just attack our opponent here. They're going to come up with some answer. I'm guessing it's Secure the Waste. And that's fine, because then we get to Brimstone Volley post-combat. Unless our opponent... Let's float red. That's pretty annoying. I think then, what do we do with this? I think we just Exquisite Firecraft our opponent. Do we have Spell Mastery? Yeah, we have Bolt and Firebolt in the graveyard. Let's just Firecraft our opponent now. Puts them to 1, and then we get to untap with Brimstone Volley. Can flashback Firebolt, I guess. We also have an active Koth. I mean, like, our opponent can't really afford to kill Koth, I think, because they need all these creatures to tap down our team. But they're going to have to send some number of things at Koth. Ugh, Glenelendra Archmage. No. That's the exact opposite of the kind of card we wanted to see, especially because we just blew our Exquisite Firecraft. Okay. So I might minus Koth here. Flashback Firebolt. It's okay. I got 4, 5. I guess, yeah, no, what I want to do here is I do want to go for lethal with Brimstone Volley. Maybe not, because then my opponent uses their Glenelendra Archmage to tap down another land. Yeah, that was pretty bad, actually. Yeah, I definitely shouldn't have gone with that. Though I guess, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Fiery Confluence. Fiery Confluence. I mean, that Glenelendra being around is just horrible for us. So I think what I do, yeah. So my opponent gets to like tap down all my creatures and then like kill Koth, I think, pretty freely here. Let's go to combat, see what my opponent does. Probably just tap all the warriors to tap our creatures. Makes the most sense. Yeah, opposition's so unbeatable here. Man, we're so close. But I think we are going to lose this game. Glenelendra was just like the exact kind of card that we just couldn't beat. And maybe as a reason to like in the future hold on to Firecraft. Like instead just Brimstone Volley and then Firecraft for the win. Yeah, that was probably a smarter play. It was just Brimstone Volley and then Firecraft for the win. So I think I just want to add mana here and force my opponent to use their Glenalendra Archmage, I guess. Yeah, there are no artifacts. I guess I could, yeah. 1 to each creature seems fine, but I mean our opponent's gonna counter it anyway. Well, maybe that's a reason to just play like Krenko's Command. Yeah, let's just play Krenko's Command. If our opponent wants to counter it, I think that's okay. All right. Because we're not close to dying yet, so maybe it's just better to like hold on to our plays. But our opponent, like every turn that our opponent gets to untap is pretty rough for us. Having 5 bodies on the field, though, means that they can't just freely tap down all of our creatures. Like, yeah. Yeah, they looted, so that's a good sign for us. I mean, when your opponent loots and you've got an active Koth and they've got an active opposition, it means that they're digging. So, you know, we have 5 creatures, they're all lethal. So our opponent has to be able to deal with those first and foremost. And then beyond that, I mean, with Koth, actually, we have 6 lethal creatures, so our opponent kind of needs to do something else. Muldrifter, all right. And they're evoking it. That's a great sign for us. Them evoking here. I guess they get to tap down our blocker and kill our Koth if they want. But then again, they're facing down... I mean, yeah, they're still facing down 5 lethal attackers, so I don't know what that means. Like, they send 2... Yeah, they can't afford to send 2 creatures at Koth unless they have some more stuff in hand. At the moment, they can't even afford to send any creatures at Koth. But they're leaving up this very suspicious mana, which looks to me like a Cryptic Command. Which is definitely bad news for us. All right, Burn Spell, something cheap. All right, what is it? It has to be, this is 5 or more. All right, let's cash in our Koth. Banefire opponent. Awesome! Yeah, can't be countered. All right, that was sweet. This like went better than most of my normal drafts. Mono red is awesome. Just about survived that one. Yeah, good games. Yep, just F6 here. That was cool. That was cool. So yeah, so thanks everybody for watching. This was a fun little stipulation draft. Mono red ended up being quite powerful. I'm pretty excited to see, you know, how some of these other stipulation drafts are gonna go. Plains would have gotten me Elspeth, yeah. That I expected that our opponent had some plays coming up that they were stuck off on white, but we got there. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.